Hello, you amazing friends, ladies and gentlemen across the road, across the road, across the world. Why am I thinking across? I'm going to go across the road later on. Welcome to our Boss Ladies Summit for May 2025. This is the Australian election edition. And a big welcome, a big hello to Lara Arden. Hello, Lara. Oh my
Hey,
God.
amazing Ed. Hello, amazing Mary and Amanda. It's great to be here with you all.
And oh my God, it's Mary Scott. Oh my God, Mary. How you doing, Mary?
I'm doing awesome. Great to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, Lara and Amanda.
And last but not least, we've got Amanda Hill. Oh my God, Amanda Hill, so good to see you. How you doing today, Amanda Hill?
Amanda.
Great. Thank you so much. Hi, Lara. Hi, Mary. Hi, Ed. It's so good to be here. And hi, everyone else who's watching.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I don't know what it is. Amanda Hill sounds like a journalist covering the election. You got a real journalist voice. So.
I think it's my microphone. It's my microphone. It's a journalist's microphone. So that's it.
I believe you. So, Amanda, so afterwards, Amanda Hill's doing all-day election coverage. No, you're not there.
Oh, gosh. I voted. I'm done.
There we go.
Want nothing more. I'm sick of the text messages. I wish they'd go away.
Yeah. Actually, I'm with you on that one. There you go.
Me too.
Now, I just want to say welcome to our friends across the world. This is our Boss Ladies Summit, and I'm honoured to have these. I'm honoured to be a dude surrounded by such powerful boss ladies. And today's topic that we're going to explore with our amazing panelists is a great topic: personal boundaries and standards. Now, it's been a huge problem in my life. It's a huge problem in a lot of people's life, and this is a topic we're going to deep dive into with our panelists. So firstly, to our panelists, a big welcome. Love you, amazing panelists. Please connect with them on LinkedIn. And what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the topic and we're going to have, I suppose, a TV style crosstalk. So there we go. So
I've always wanted to be on TV. That's good, Ed. Thank you.
I love doing crosstalks. It reminds me of the Brady Bunch, the different squares we all got.
Totally. Now, to kick things off, we're going to open up. We're going to open up with Lara Arden. Lara Arden's a great friend of ours, and we've had a lot of chats. Personal boundaries and standards is such a big topic. I've been threatened a lot lately, so I've had weekly, daily threats of physical violence with the election coming up. So, from people I know, so personal boundaries is a very amazing topic for a lot of people for different reasons. So, when I thought Lara Arden, great to have you, Lara Arden. Tell us what you think about personal boundaries and standards.
Well, it's a wonderful topic for us to explore today. And, I hear that this is one way that we can experience our personal boundaries being encroached upon when others are being violent in their communications towards us, whether that's physical, verbal, or emotional. The other thing that I've become aware of just recently is that sometimes we can allow our personal boundaries to be kind of pushed in a little bit when we're trying to sort of hold them out to give ourselves some space. We can actually allow them, maybe it's subconscious, maybe it's conscious, but we can allow at times for our boundaries to be pushed in by things. Who knows why? Maybe there is a reason for it. But anyway, that's just something that I became aware of recently is, what am I doing to actually enable my boundaries to be pushed in when actually, I don't want to do that. And the way I became aware of that is because I did a self-discovery assessment during the week about the elements of childhood trauma and how that can show up for us in things like whether we have anxiety, low, moderate, or high, whether we have self-identity, whether we feel lost, about ourselves in life, whether that's something that can come up as low, moderate, or high, whether we have experiences of being a people pleaser, whether that can be something as low, moderate, or high. And I actually found that for me, that mine was about 66%. So that would be classed as moderate to high, meaning that I do tend to do a bit of people pleasing, probably more than I should do. And that's when it clicked for me. And I thought, oh, you know what, that's where I'm letting my boundaries be pushed in, right? Because I'm too quick to say, yeah. When I realized, wait, maybe I need to say a little bit more of, well, I'd like to, can I get back to you? Whilst I maintain my own boundaries, right? To hold on to the space of what it is that I'm trying to do. So that's something that I became aware of for me as another way of, having that perspective of personal boundaries and how they can be impacted by what's going on.
Oh, well said, Lara. Great opening. Let's hear some reactions. Let's go with Mary. Mary, I'd love to hear your reactions and tell us what you think about personal boundaries and standards.
It's interesting what you're saying, Lara, about being pushed in, similar to being pushed around. It's one of those things. I think with personal boundaries for me, there's a physical aspect to it.
Okay.
So I have quite strong personal boundaries. I decide absolutely who comes into my inner circle. And
very good.
I don't appreciate people just coming physically right up to me, chin to chin kind of thing. It's not my style at all.
Yeah.
And then I think the other issue is personal boundaries are fundamental, because that's the message you give to people about what you're prepared to put up with, what you're prepared to create as a standard for yourself. And then, of course, you get on to standards, and standards then takes us into values. So it's quite a complex thing, this personal boundaries. I think we need to do some more education on it. I think when we're kids, we allow other kids into our space. And sometimes if we're never taught the difference, hey, there's intimate space, and then there's socializing space. That's my words. And there's a very big difference between the two. And I think that for me, I learned very early on in my life that I needed to have space for me. If I didn't take the space, for some reason, it created turmoil, because I felt like I couldn't take the time to think and to just check in with how I feel. And I think this opens another can of worms. If I don't take the time and create space for me by setting good boundaries, then I never, ever get to know what I really think. And then we get taken in by opinions of others. And I talk to people every day who get overwhelmed by other people's opinions, rather than being still and silent and connecting in with their own feelings and what they need to do. So this, to me, is, I could talk all day about it, but I won't. But I think it's all part of personal boundaries, respect for yourself and respect for others.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. Now, just a quick one. We've got the amazing Christina Davey coming in. Christina Davey is a great friend of ours. She's just sitting in her car. She's doing a literal drive-by live stream today. So we're just going to say hello to Christina Davey. Quick hello, Christina Davey. Christina Davey, yay! How are you today, Christina Davey?
Hi, everyone. Hi, beautiful ladies. And hi, Edward. I'm juggling single motherhood with, work as well. So I am at the rugby field with my son. And I thought, well, I'll pop in because the topic, it's way too hot, too interesting to miss out on it.
I know. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come back to Amanda Hill shortly. So everyone wave to Amanda Hill. We're going to give Amanda Hill lots of bonus time. So if all right, Amanda, we're going to bounce over to Christina Davey. She has to go shortly. And Christina Davey's in drive-by mode. And you're sitting in your car to do a drive-by live stream. So there we go, drive-by live stream.
Yeah, I just drove from one side of the Sydney to the other one, and I thought, well, the topic was so hot. I was sitting here, I can't make it. I said, I have to make it.
Now, Christina Davey, I know you have to go shortly. So what I want to do is just so we can grab you now, give us a monologue. So I'd love to hear your reactions to what you've heard, and please give us a great monologue on personal boundaries and standards. We'd love to hear what you think. Over to you, monologue, Christina Davey.
I absolutely love what Mary, I don't know if anybody else said anything before, but, I agree with Mary. I think we can't have a healthy relationship with ourselves, and I think we can't have healthy relationships with others without personal, boundaries and standards. Every time we are not clear on our boundaries and on our standards, I think it creates guilt and shame. And those are both really low vibrational frequencies. So we show up completely different. We don't want to be seen. We are too scared to express ourselves. And it just really creates such a bad relationship with ourselves that it makes it really impossible to have a healthy relationship with another. What do you think, Edward?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And Christina Davey and I have gone back probably, I think, at least 8 years or so years, and we've talked a lot about personal boundaries lately. And I was saying with old Christina, I've been threatened a lot by people I know, even with physical violence, often daily with the election and all that going on. And it's actually really invited me to test my own personal boundaries. So back to you, Christina. I mean, you've gone through a lot of stuff. You deal with a lot of women in vulnerable situations in your life, in your work as a dating and relationship coach. I want to ask you in particular, Christina Davey, for women, how can we push back against people in a way oppressing our boundaries, and how can we strengthen our boundaries? What's your take on that one, Christina Davey?
I think I always say that 3 sort of different levels of placing boundaries, right? But let's just clarify what a boundary and what a standard is. A boundary is a no, just to simplify it, and a standard it's a yes. Yes to this. I love this. This is what I need. This is what I like. This is what I prefer, right? A boundary is like, no, actually, this is not okay with me. Like I'm not going to, be okay with that. But there's 3 different levels of saying no to someone. There's a soft way, friendly, you could do a joke about it. Hey, ha ha ha, but I don't really like this. And then there's a second level, which is a bit more serious. Hey, actually, I thought maybe my message didn't quite, get to you. But I just, this is not all right with me. And could you please stop doing this? And if they still don't get it, then you go like, hey, actually, if you're not stopping this, there will be some serious consequences for this. You either cut off, the relationship or the connection, or, bring in the police. I mean, it depends on the level, right? But you got to do it gradually because people are not aware of our boundaries. Okay, so we going to step on each other's toes until we get to know each other. So we got to allow some flexibility and, ask ourselves, have I actually communicated this to this person? Have I communicated my standards and my boundaries? And they continue to cross it, right? Is it consistent behavior or is it just one-off? And also we got to allow that other person to create the habit to respect that boundary, because if it's not important to them, they might do it, not because they want to hurt us, but they might do it just simply because it's not in their awareness. It's not that important. It's not a must for them. So it's got to become a must for them. If they value the relationship with you, then they will respect the boundary. If they don't, they will keep doing it. And then that's our responsibility to say, hey, no more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Here. Now, just jumping in, we've got one of our amazing friends who's about to join us, the amazing Sabina Savlovsky who's with us. Sabina Savlovsky, we're going to bring her in now. There we go. Sabina, welcome. Great to see you this morning and great seeing you yesterday.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, Sabina.
Great.
Good.
Apologies for my tardiness. I didn't set my boundaries, but I'm
Now, I just want to say a big welcome to everyone. If you've just come in, hit that like, share, comment. And I actually want to bounce over to Amanda Hill. We've totally neglected Amanda Hill today, which is horrible misogynistic behavior on my part, which I apologize for. So can we give it up for Amanda Hill? Yay, Amanda Hill.
Yeah.
Over to you. Thank you for your patience. You are an avatar of paragonness, Amanda.
Gosh, no, that's absolutely fine. This is my first panel, so I'm really glad to have lots of time to think about something sensible to say. So,
oh my gosh, I'm sure there's so much sensible stuff in there.
thank you. I'd like to go all the way back to something Mary finished off with, which was about respecting others and respecting yourself. And we're all in different stages in our businesses and in our lives. And I'm in building stage at the moment. So my boundaries are very, I guess, narrow. I'm happy to work, all day into the night, 6 days a week. And then I have Sundays off because I have to for my mental health. But, that's my boundaries. And sort of I'm online all the time and that's how I work. But I had a valuable lesson the other day when I had been, and I should say when I'm offline, I'm offline. I don't even look at LinkedIn or anything like that or Facebook or anything. I just play podcasts and read books, and that's what I do, and I don't respond to anything. And so I had a valuable lesson the other day. I was working on something on Easter Saturday, and I'd been working all Friday and Saturday and Easter Monday, and that was fine. And so I'd been working all day Easter Saturday on something, and I was getting really frustrated. I'm totally blind for those who don't know. And I was struggling to access something online, and I was getting really angry and really frustrated. And I messaged this person and I said, I'm really concerned and I'm really unhappy and it looks like nothing's being done. And I want some results. I'm sick of waiting. And I was really angry, thinking, okay, they're in a more of an advanced phase, so they're probably not online right now. And they came back to me, and it sounded with audio messages, and it sounded like they were like hiking in the bush. And it's like, oh, I feel so bad. And they were so gentle. They could have yelled at me and said, rack off. It's the Easter long weekend. Leave me alone. I'll deal with this on Monday or Tuesday. And they did effectively say that, but really gently. And I felt so bad. And I thought, okay, well, their boundaries are different to mine. They are online in case there's a genuine emergency, which my rant wasn't. It was just a rant that I wanted to get off my chest and thought they wouldn't look at till Tuesday. So I learned that everyone's boundaries are different, and boundaries can be flexible. Some are hard boundaries, like my Sundays. Some are not. So yeah, I showed this person disrespect by ranting at them over a weekend. So I now know that I don't send messages to them unless I need something right now, and I make really sure that it's not a weekend. So that was my lesson on boundaries.
Oh my God, Amanda, love your rawness. Round of applause to Amanda. You are amazing.
Love that.
Oh, thank you.
Great credit to you as well for actually taking on that, oh, well, this is how I could have done it. Like it was such a learning, you obviously show you're learning from this, and, it's, fantastic.
Oh,
thanks.
Amazing. Now, while we've got Sabina on the line, Sabina, welcome in. It was so good seeing you yesterday. Sabina and I go back many years, and everyone loves her. Sabina, welcome into the panel. You've heard a lot of cool stuff. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you've heard so far, and what are your thoughts on personal boundaries and standards?
Yes, I mean, it's great energy here, and I love how everybody is putting something in. I was listening as I was running up the stairs, getting everything ready. I think personal boundaries from a sort of leadership and burnout and health performance perspective, they're really important, because burnout is at epidemic levels. So is anxiety, so is depression, so is suicide. And I'm not saying boundaries are going to solve all that, but I'm saying that having boundaries can really help us with our performance, with our mental and physical health. And so in looking at burnout, for example, is many of us, or many people, including myself, and I have to be really strict with them, we don't have these boundaries. And I think because we'll especially now we're on our phone, our computer, we can access work on there. We have no stop and start. And so instead of it being a 8 till 6 job or 8 to 7 job, it's no longer that. The minute we wake up in the morning, for example, and this is where I go around and tell people, I call it the CEO mindset. It doesn't start by looking at your phone. It starts by actually honoring yourself. And that sounds really fluffy, but it's actually not. It's because you're the engine room of the business. And if you're going straight into, I'm going to smash out my cortisol levels and get really stressed, that'll bring your brain activity down. So having boundaries around things like that. So making sure you're really clear on the boundaries in terms of work. And because we're working from home a lot, having boundaries around work too. So our body, I mean, you're all coaches here, and I know Edward's got, you know, so many qualifications in it, but our brains respond to anchors. So if we don't set boundaries at home, for example, people are working in their pajamas and they're on the bed. Your brain is responding, my background's physiology, your brain is responding to anchors, but it's sleep time, and you're telling your body that I actually want to work from my computer. Your brain needs a very, very clear focus. So you're not giving boundaries to your brain. You're not giving boundaries to your family or yourself. And that's when we start to have a lot of conflict, because our body and our brain, we're not being clear about what we actually want, and we're expecting optimal performance, but we're not giving optimal constructions. You wouldn't get something and not follow what you're meant to do, not follow the step 1, step 2, step 3. So I think it's just about us being really clear. Even, you know, working from home, if you're working from home, don't do it from a dining table, don't do it from your bed. Have a very clear place where that, because the minute you walk into that area, your brain automatically, and you might not know it, your biochemistry changes. You'll notice, you know, you might not even notice it. It's so subtle. Use that to an advantage so that you can, you know, prevent burnout. You can prevent yourself getting exhausted. You can prevent yourself, you know, I mean, a lot of people, they eat at their desk. Don't eat at your desk. Have a boundary around that. So your body and your brain is really clear about your goals. So anyway, probably a lot of waffle, but basically, I think the from a scientific point of view, but also is in our environment, internal environment, aligning our internal environment, our biochemistry with our external environment is really important. And that's all about boundaries. So yes, that's enough of my group.
That's awesome, Sabina. I totally agree with that. And one of the things I do is when I finish work, I shut my office door, and that's the line between my home and my office. And that ends my day. And the energy in here, my office, is work energy. And I think what you're saying is that we then muddle our brain, don't we? We give it 2 messages. I'm going to stay in bed and I'm going to work on my laptop. Well, hang on a minute. Isn't this where we sleep and have fun? Oh, no, hang on. We're trying to... I think that it does get a bit messy. And the other thing is that it doesn't help you as a person differentiate. This is my bedroom. This is my office. So I think you're making some fabulous points there. Thank you.
Can I add to that as well, Mary? Thank you, Sabina, for helping us to identify that our environments can really help our brain clearly, physiologically understand the difference between this is a boundary, you know, that meaning that we can push out, that the things beyond that boundary stay out there, and this is a standard. So because when I'm in this space, I get to do the things I love, the things that make me feel really good, that light me up. And so one of the things I'm remembering for myself as well, Mary, thank you for helping me remember this, is that I'm living in a little 30 square meter 1-bedroom studio. So my home is my office, is my bedroom, is my lounge room, is my kitchen. That's it. It's one room. Well, no, the bathroom and kitchen are separate. But for everything else,
it sounds like you're in the army or training to be a cop or something.
You know, I've been in the military before, and it feels very similar. So yeah, like I don't mind it. I'm quite happy to do it for now. But you know, something that I did that helped myself recently, so that I could give myself some boundaries and help to almost like separate my little environment and the space, is I managed to get a little bookcase that comes up to about, I don't know, I guess about 2 meters high. And I just propped a curtain rod above that and pushed it up against the wall and hung a curtain from it. And now suddenly that space is 2 rooms. I've got a bedroom, and I've got, you know, my bedroom is where I sleep. And then I've got on the other side of the curtain is the little lounge room, and then the office desk in the other corner. And
well done.
Thank you. But I tell you, just that one thing of putting up a dividing curtain, you know, like that, and it didn't cost a lot to do, but it's given me suddenly all of a sudden that space that now I can go, there's a boundary there. You know, sleep happens in my bedroom and work doesn't come in there. And then in my lounge room, my office space, that's where I get to do the things that I love, as you know, aside from sleep. And I love to have that space where I know what I'm doing, and my brain goes, all right, we're in bed now, we go to sleep, you know, or we're in this space, or we're at the desk, you know.
And when you support your body and your brain and your body just automatically supports you back. It's so simplistic. And I think that's like, you know, and people think, again, like sometimes I say this word and apparently people don't like it. CEOs, you have to go slower to go faster. But you actually do, because when your brain knows what it's doing, it's like a Lamborghini. If the Lamborghini knows it's getting from A to B, then it will go there. But if it's going from A to, maybe C, maybe D, it doesn't matter how shit hot the Lamborghini is it's going to be confused. It's not going to perform at its best. And our body and women, you know, we're all business owners. We are Lamborghinis. So we've got to be really clear with that. And I think that's a great point, too, Lara, what you said is, I think we you know, people say, well, we have to have an office. You don't have to have an office, but you have to just have a boundary. Can be even just a psychological one. Just turning off, having a curtain, so you, like you said, you close it off if it's out of mind. So sorry, again, but no, I could talk about this forever. I love it.
It's great.
I love being a Lamborghini. Thank you so much, Sabina.
You are beautiful. But I mean, come on, of course you're a Lamborghini.
Look, Christina's still in the Lamborghini today.
Let's get a reaction from Christina. She might come and say that we're all wrong and we need to look in the mirror and readdress our thoughts. No, she won't.
I totally agree with Sabina, and thank you, Sabina, for raising that for myself, because I think
Christina, sorry enough, your audio's a bit off. Do you want to maybe sign out and come back in? Your audio's a bit off. There we go. Now it happens. What happens on Stream? We use StreamYard here. Sometimes you don't get a good connection from mobile, but we'll try and get Christina back a little bit later. Let's bounce over to Amanda Hill. Amanda Hill, thank you so much. Amanda Hill, we'd love to hear your reactions and your very savvy innermost thoughts.
I'm loving this discussion about location, because I'm terrible at this. I work at my kitchen bench when I'm, you know, eating a meal. I work sitting out on the deck in the sun. I work and in fact, the place I work the least is the office where I am now, because that's where I'm set up to do like video stuff. But I think the only place I don't work is my bedroom and my couch. My couch is where I sit and I knit and I craft and I listen to podcasts and that sort of thing. So I suppose that's my boundary, but I think I need to tighten up those boundaries a bit more and not work all over the house. I think things like laptops and mobile phones have made that so much easier to fall into those bad habits. In the bad old days when you had a desktop and you were chained to that desktop computer and you that's the only place you worked, and you could go out and shut your office door. In fact, I remember those days when I was an employee and when I went on leave and I shut my office door, and it was such a good feeling. It's like, right, I'm walking away from this now and I don't have to do anything for 2 weeks. Yes, I think it's been a very valuable reminder for me, all this location discussion. So thank you, everyone.
I think as well is, I don't know if we're all mums or all parents here, sorry. We're all parents, but you know, when I had my kids, I remember kids, how much they love boundaries and they love routines. And from a physiological point of view, our biochemistry is run by routines. It's all aligned cycles, biological cycles. So if we can work in alignment with those, everything just becomes so much easier. We access that flow, and things that would take, you know, an hour will only take 40 minutes, which actually saves us time, makes us more productive, and makes us, you know, allows us to have time doing things that we're knitting or just, you know, whatever it might be. So yeah, I think boundaries is something that we really need to, especially sleep. If you look at sleep insomnia, people, the majority of people I say, and I'm not going to name any names because I have clients that are probably listening, but they go to bed an hour early looking at their phone. You're telling your brain to wake up and start doing work. And then you'll say, hey, brain, now can you fall asleep? And then when it doesn't, or when it wakes up 2 hours later, you're pissed off with it. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? It's like you telling a dog or a toddler, can you do this for me? No, I've changed my mind now. I want to do something else. So we're sending so many mixed messages. We wouldn't do it to another fellow human being, but we do it to ourselves constantly, and we expect high level performance. And it's, we're working harder than what we have to.
I'll never forget, I used to work for an organisation called Project Starfish, which helped get blind people, give them basic skills to help them become more employable. And they were based in America. And I used to, like, I'd have dinner and then I'd put myself to bed for a couple of hours. And then I'd get up and I had someone sharing the house with me, and so she'd be asleep and she had a normal 9-to-5 job, and so I'd go into my walk-in wardrobe with my snacks and my water, and I'd sit there with the door shut with my down jacket on because it was cold and I couldn't have the heating on. So I'd sit there at midnight, get on this call for like an hour, and then it would finish, and then my Canadian friend would ring me and she'd want to chat, and it's like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to go back to bed. This is crazy. So yeah, they were very strange times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to just do a quick. Oh, sorry. Just want to jump in with a quick intermission as well. Just want to say, everyone, we are halfway through Boss Ladies Summit. So just a quick intermission. Just want to jump in there as we continue the discussion. If you haven't already, like, share, comment. We've got Lara Arden with us. A big hello to Lara. Lara's a great friend of ours. We've got amazing Amanda Hill. We love you, Amanda Hill. You haven't connected with Amanda Hill. What are you doing? We've got Sabina Zablosky in here today. Great to see you, Sabina. And as a part of the intermission, we've got Mary Scott as well. So there we go. Don't mess with Mary, or you're going to be the bottom of
I sound like the add-on. I sound like the add-on then, Ed. What's going on?
Never.
And as an honourable mention, we've got Christina Davey with us as well. She's out and about right now. Oh, there she is. We got Christina Davey back. We're doing quick hello to Christina. How you doing, Christina? Welcome back.
Exciting. This is an exciting one. I keep logging in and out and losing signal, but I'm a fighter. I am not going to give up.
Well, I think what happened was Christina's like, oh, I'm busy. I can't do Boss Ladies today. But the topic is like, it's like a casino to a gambler. Christina can't help herself on this one. There we go. Can't help herself.
I wanted to say I missed some, from what Sabina said, but I've got the main thing. And I wanted to say, Sabina, thank you so much for reminding me that I actually don't have boundaries between my work and my personal life, And this, I think, when we come on these events, it's not just for them, for the audience, it's for all of us. We're all learning through this, right? And we're all learning from each other. So it really raised awareness for me that, sometimes I work at 10 o'clock, p.m. I get a message from someone, I have a membership, where people are, sharing stuff. So sometimes I just jump really quick to, send a message or an advice or something. And Sabina, I love that, I just realized I'm at the point in my life when I want to set better boundaries, between my work life and my personal life. And I'm grateful for that. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I think this is one of the things that hasn't happened this week while I'm navigating, moving out. I moved, I went through a breakup, I'm trying to, adjust to the single motherhood again. And it's been intense, right? And I realized, well, if I had better boundaries between my work and my personal life, it would probably be a lot easier. And, for that, I'm grateful.
There's some really simple things we can do. Actually, I was speaking to a client recently, and it's about things we can do like with electronics, right? Because that means, sorry, I'm talking about this so much, but even just using the health app and the notifications, making sure that you turn on a bedtime routine. So my bedtime routine goes on at 8:30. 8:30, I have to get my ass up the stairs, and start preparing. The same with notifications. All notifications. I only have very important notifications. Christina will probably know but it's simply because my mental health. I'm prone to depression, and as a business owner, I'm the business. If I'm screwed, then the whole business fails. So notifications and making sure your phone is out of the bedroom. Never have your phone in the bedroom. Have it if you need an alarm. I'll buy one for you and buy in bulk the EMF electromagnetic ones. Have it out of your bedroom so you're not even tempted. You don't look at it before bed. You don't look at it in the morning. First hour of the morning, it's no electronics. Just those boundaries. The reduction in cortisol is massive. It's like 50%. It's huge. So anyway, okay, I will leave. I will back out again.
Yeah.
Awesome advice.
I think it's great what you're talking about, Sabina, and I think it rolls along nicely from what Amanda started saying about location, because even time itself is a location. If we consider the aspect of, what am I doing when, right? That's the location. Well, the action is the what, and the when is the location of time. So if we decide, right, when it's bedtime and I'm going to sleep, even if I wake up in the night, and as an example, I don't know why, it could be the moon, it could be my hormones, it could be my diet. I'm not sure, I haven't figured that out yet, but for some reason I've noticed that I've been waking up, and I don't even know what time, because I do keep my phone out of the bedroom, but I'm going to guess it's maybe after 1 a.m. and I'm awake for about an hour, I'm guessing maybe an hour and a half. And look, it would be really tempting if I wanted to, if I start thinking about work, even though it's bedtime, to get up and think, oh, well, I'm awake anyway, let's just go do something. But I purposefully don't. Maybe this is where I've got a good boundary for that. And it could be tempting where it's pushing in and my brain's going, well, I'm awake, let's go do stuff, because I love my business, right? That's my standard. But, rather than letting my standards push in on my boundaries, I'm careful to respect that it's bedtime, meaning I'm in the bed to sleep. So even though my brain is awake and it's wanting to go do other things, I have to be calm to my brain and to my body and give my body the respect that it needs by staying in the bed. I don't get up out of the bed. And so what I say to myself is, all right, I'm here. I'm not even going to think about work. What else can I think about? And guess what I do? This is the time that I use to, energetically, spiritually, emotionally, however you want to refer to it, I use that time with my eyes closed to go up and to go, because my family are all across different parts of Australia and the world. I only have myself here in Brisbane with my beautiful friends and my boyfriend. And so when I want to think of my family and send them love and light and blessings, I do that in the middle of the night when my brain's awake, because I don't want to be doing work, because that's not the time, right? That's my boundary. I'm pushing that out. And so I just come back to my heart and doing what my heart would make me feel happy, which helps my body to relax and be calm. And it's like when I've gone around to all my family, my children, my parents, my niece and my nephews and my cousins, it's like when I've done all of that, and then and then I think, and okay, am I still awake? I think, what else can I do? I start doing my eye exercises with my eyes closed, because I want to get to being glasses free and get rid of blurry vision. And so I do eye exercises, and then eventually I just drift off back to sleep. It's like my brain goes, oh, she's not going to get up and go do her work. Oh, she's done all her other stuff. And then the body goes, let's go back to sleep. And the brain just gives in. And then, and then before I know, I'm back to sleep and snoozing again. And so that's something that I've found works for me to help me maintain my boundaries of bedtime, so that I can get the sleep that I need and honor and respect that beautiful place that I'm in.
That's great.
Thank you for reminding me of that. That's something that I've been finding it works for me. Yeah.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check in with everyone, say a big thank you. We're going amazing. We've got about 20 minutes left of our summit. As an honourable mention, we've got a great friend, Stanley Waite, with us. Stanley Waite, whilst being a dude, Stanley's a great personal friend of mine. He lives and breathes women's empowerment, this guy. So there we go. So I'm going to call him he's an honourable. We're going to call him a boss man in the respect of supporting women. So Stanley, good seeing you, my friend.
Yeah.
There we go. We call you boss man.
Boss man.
You made an excellent comment as well. You know, rested mind makes better decisions. Again, biochemically, when your brain is in that, when your body's flooded with cortisol, your brain's actually saying, you know, you don't focus on things, you focus on survival. So you're not going to have your best decisions. You're not going to make the best decisions. Your decisions are purely going to be driven by survival, not by, you know, can I, you know, get out of this situation at work. So, yeah. Anyway, yes, the alpha waves as well, Margaret. Oh my gosh, I could talk about this forever. Yeah.
There we go. Now,
I just want to say really quick, thank you so much for all the insights. I'm going to have to run, but I really appreciate you all. And, you know,
Appreciate you too, Christina.
they love it.
Bye.
We love you,
Bye,
Christina.
Christina.
Bye,
Have a
Christina.
great weekend.
Awesome. See you later on. There we go. So there's Christina, right? It was funny. Christina, I thought, I can't be bothered doing boss ladies, but she's like, oh my God, it's boundaries again. She's the alcoholic outside the bar. She can't help herself. That's why we love her. She's joking about alcoholics. There we go.
What an analogy.
Yeah,
There we go.
love it.
There we go. There we go. Mary, you're as you shake your head with disappointment at my rightfully shaking your head of disappointment at me. What are your thoughts, Mary, before we go into the final topic? Any thoughts, Mary, before we carry on?
Well, I was thinking, I love stories, as most of you know. And when I was a young nurse, and back in the day, you know, winding back in time, some of you won't even know these times, but we used to have these long wards, 30 beds, and you'd walk down the middle and there'd be patients on either side. And as a nurse who did a lot of night duty back then, someone would ring a bell and I would go and speak to them, and they'd say, I'm the only one awake. I can't go to sleep. And I'd say, you'd be very interested to know it's 2 a.m. and there's 10 people in this room awake. Really? And, you know, just the comfort of knowing that. So imagine, Lara, when you're there at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, imagine that there's a host of other people that are actually awake, that are in turmoil, that are thrashing around because they're worried about their life, they're worried about their finances, they're worried about their partners, their kids. There's a plethora of reasons. And I created an ebook, 5 years ago now, about waking up at 3 a.m. and what to do. And this is a very common thing. It's also a dangerous thing because that's how we set off our stress. Sabina will be able to tell you about the hormones. I just know that this is what happens. She'll be able to give more background. And also we then get into a state of being sleep deprived. And that's not a good place to be functioning. And what I've found is people that are sleep deprived, they're also a bit short with you. They're a bit, you know, they've got the grumpy pants on a lot of the time, because for some reason they then start projecting it onto everyone else. So I couldn't sleep and it's your fault kind of thing. You know, that blame and shame that some people get into. But I think take responsibility. Lara, you're it. You're a great example. You take responsibility, you do something. You know, I for one, and this is one of my little tips in my ebook, I just have a little bottle of essential oils, usually lavender. And if I'm in great turmoil, it might be, that's right. It might be excitement.
Yeah, love that.
It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. Oh my God, you crack me up. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom, but it can just be excitement about something that's going to happen. Yeah. I honestly just reach out with the light off, get that bottle of lavender. Firstly, I smell it. I put a couple of drops on my pillow. Yeah. And then I rub it on the bottom of my feet, and I can tell you, as soon as you rub it on the bottom of your feet, it takes the energy from here down to your feet, and before you know it, you're out cold. So that's my little hot tip. That's what I was thinking about.
Just want to react to that. As a guy who has trouble sleeping, you're saying lavender oil on the feet helps with that.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying, Mary?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and put it on a pillow as well so you can smell it. And that's what
Yeah.
lavender was created for calming.
Yes.
It's an old method, you know.
Yes.
Remember the lavender bags? Some of you are too young for those, but you know, people would harvest the fresh lavender, put it in bags, and you'd put it
Yeah.
under your pillow back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you can still get those lavender bags. I think they're
You can.
very,
Yeah.
they're
You
good
can.
for your clothes, between your clothes and things.
Yeah.
Do you know the
Oh,
other thing?
God,
I
help
love
us.
that.
There was another thing I read once when I was suffering from insomnia, when I had undiagnosed depression and I couldn't sleep. And someone said to me once, you know, if you're lying in bed and you're not sleeping, you're still resting.
Yeah.
Your body is still relaxing. So it's okay. Just rest.
Yeah, that's
Right.
a permission thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the guy in the hospital who thought, I'm the only one awake here. All these people are sleeping, because he could see everyone. But that's simply not true. It's just
Yeah.
a story we tell ourselves. That's a great point, man.
Oh, love it. Now, we've got about 10 minutes left of Boss Ladies, 10:15, and the final topic we're going to explore, and this is a cool one. So I actually did quite a bit of research for this Boss Ladies. I spoke to a lot of my female friends, including some of our panelists, and I said, what's the biggest issue with personal boundaries and standards? And what they all said to me was, there's this ex-person in my life who is always triggering my boundaries, be it a family member, partner, client, whatever, boss. But there's always, in a way, a lot of women would say there's an antagonist. There's this one particular person who's just nonstop triggering my boundaries, and dealing with them is basically consuming all my time. So I actually want to explore that with our Boss Ladies as our final topic and thought, which is amazing. So we're gonna open up with Lara on this one, and we're going to get Lara to start discussions. Lara's an absolute pro on this one, but especially as a lady, obviously we're here for the ladies' point of view, not my dude's point of view. But from a lady's point of view, how do you deal with people that are just pushing your boundaries nonstop, especially someone who's quite significant in your life?
Yeah, thank you. It's a difficult one to face. I think for most women who are raised to be, I'm going to say, people pleasers, for, you know, it could be just a particular generation that went through that. I think it can, and it's something that I'm still coming out of myself. I'm not there 100% yet. I am in other ways, which is good, and that's a strength. For me, working to be more aware of, am I allowing this person to treat me in ways that aren't really honoring or respecting my boundaries and what I need to feel safe and calm and comfortable? Then we have a responsibility first to ourselves to be aware of that, or to feel it. Sometimes you can't put it into words, but you can feel it inside your body, in your gut, and your body knows, and it tries to communicate and let you know by hormones of cortisol or feelings of stress or anxiety. So if we can try to be aware that that's our body's way of saying, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this. My boundaries don't feel secure, all right? And I want my boundaries to help my body feel safe. So if we can be attuned to that and recognize that, okay, something's not feeling quite right here, it's the opportunity that we then have to change things. And we may not be able to change what's going on out there for that person who could be appearing to be very negative or annoying, or, you know, frustrating us in ways that we're feeling them pushing in on our boundaries, our feelings of being safe. So if we can't change anything out there, then I think the responsibility is on us to change something in here. And sometimes it's about us moving our space so that there's more distance between us and that antagonistic person or situation, for us to give ourselves some space and distance away from that. And then other times it's learning to go within so that we can find the stillness from within, so that we don't be as reactive to what's going on out there. These are the things that I found that have worked for me, and it does require a level of self-awareness to be able to recognize that. But if we don't have that self-awareness ourselves, sometimes it can still come from people around us, because friends, people who love us, who know us, can say, oh, look, I see that you've been getting quite stressed or anxious about things. And if we start to hear others say to us things like, are you okay? That's our chance to stop and look at ourselves and check in and think, am I okay? Maybe have I been getting a little bit anxious or stressed or worried or even negative more than I normally would be? And it's our opportunity to then stop and consider, is it something outside of me that's going on, or is it something internal that I need to deal with? And yeah, hopefully that will give us a starting point that we can then either work on things ourselves, or if it's something that we can engage the support of a friend or the assistance of a coach, that we can find the right person that's going to give us the right support that we need to be able to create those changes, either externally or internally. That's what I'd like to share about that. Yeah. When it comes to how I've had personal situations and how I've dealt with them, I can go into a story if you want to. I don't know how much time have we got today to do that.
Maybe what we'll do is, you've done a great job of setting up the conversation, Lara, which is why I got you to do it. So let's brilliant setup, Lara. Let's go into crosstalk mode. Any of our panelists, jump on in. Love to hear your thoughts. Don't be shy.
Well, I think I have an approach where my friends and we have agreements. I like agreements. I think agreements are good in families, extended. I think agreements are good at work. I think agreements are good at intimate relationships. For example, I have a friend who's always late, drives me nuts. If we're going out somewhere, always late. Is that you? I can't imagine it.
No, those people drive me nuts. I hate those people.
Oh, me too.
And I recently went on a podcast, a live stream, and there was several of us there. And the person running it said, we're going to wait for the latecomers. And I'm like, hang on a minute, that's not how it works. Reward the people that come first. Let's get started. Now, imagine doing that on your networking evenings, Ed. It would drive everyone nuts. Yeah. But so back to my friend. So one day, she was 30 minutes late. So I said, oh, look, we need to sit down and talk. She's like, what? I said, yeah, this is Grumpy Pants. And she's like, oh, I've never seen you grumpy. I said, well, look, I've known you for several years. And what I notice is, if you're going to be here at 12:30, I plan for at least 1 o'clock. I don't have lunch ready and she was like, and she started giggling, and I was like, no, it's not going to work for me. This friendship will not work for me.
So was she trying to sort of laugh her way out of it? Was that her way of wangling out of the situation she put herself in? Is that right, Mary?
I think it was just plain confronting. I was confronting. And, that's the risk you take. Because what I was saying was, this is okay, but this is definitely not okay. You want to be my friend? And I said, I feel disrespected. I feel like you don't give a damn about my time. And I value my time. I value my downtime, my time with my dogs, the time to work. I make the most of every opportunity. I milk it big time. But, I think in long-term relationships, I've got agreements with my sister and brother-in-law. When they come, I say, listen, 3 days is probably enough. And if you want to go and do some tourist stuff, you can come back. And it's a joke in the family now. If you go and stay with Mary 3 days as a family's enough, then you've got to move on. And look, that's okay. They might talk about me out of school and go, God, she's a pain in the neck. But it works. And we have a fabulous time together. And look, sometimes I get a bit nervous if I'm, oh, no, I've got to do the boundary thing. I've got to say this is not okay. But do you know what? It's worth sweating on it. Just say, hang on a minute. I say, hang on, just a minute. We need to talk. And my heart's going. Don't worry. It's not easy. But golly, it works well, because then I can really make the most of my time with friends that I love, family that I love, and I can have time for me. So that's what I'm big on, agreements. And I've done this, I don't know, few decades now, and it works. I want to know what the candle is. What the hell's the candle for, Ed?
Well, what I do, and I think it was who spoke of the you, the lavender. I've got this beautiful citrus twist candle, and I love I like sniffing it. I like basically Charlie Sheen the candle.
You're a bit of a sniffer, are you?
Yeah, but I pretend I'm Charlie Sheen with something else, but it's a candle, right? And I just inhale it, and it just chills me out. It gets me all zen and stuff.
Nice.
I don't know about burning candle in the middle of the day and then and then sniffing it. I think there's more in that candle than meets the eye.
Probably all the petrochemicals and artificial colorings. So it's like, yeah, boss lady, Carmen.
I tell you what, I think I'll go on social media and give a warning to all the politicians. Look out, he's got something he's inhaled earlier.
It's a right winger who's high on citrus wax right now. So better call the AFP. There you go.
Oh, that's funny.
There you go. Now, I just want to bounce over to amazing Amanda Hill. Amanda Hill, you are the ultimate listener. Amanda, what are some of your reactions and thoughts to the brilliance you've heard so far? I'd love to hear it, Amanda Hill.
I love the insight that has been given today. I really do. It's been amazing, and I've learnt a lot. So thank you, and I'm sure everyone else has too. I'd like to speak to the driven ones, because I remember as a child, my father said to me, "Okay, as a blind person, if you're going to compete on an equal footing with your sighted peers, you have to be better. You have to be faster. You have to work harder. You have to do better than they do so that you can compete equally." And that he died a long time ago now, but that has followed me through my life. So the person who is pushing my boundaries is me. And I've had to become much more aware of that and go, you know what? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to go, I'm doing my best and that's the best I can do. And if I'm not good enough, then, that is how it has to be. So, yeah, I'd like to speak to the driven ones and say, look, are you pushing your boundaries? Are you, perhaps you need to look back and go, maybe I don't need to push so hard. Maybe, my best is good enough and I can't go beyond that and beat myself up. And so just wanted to encourage the driven ones.
Well said, Amanda.
Yeah, well said indeed.
Just want to react to that with a segue to amazing Sabina. Sabina and I were having this chat yesterday, actually. And so a bit of background, Sabina wouldn't mind me saying. So Sabina comes from a British and Pakistani background, and yours truly comes from an Arab Christian background. There's not many of us left, mind you. We're all dead. But for the surviving ones, right? So there's not many of us left. We're all dead. And but besides all the dead ones, you've got me. And Sabina and I were having a similar conversation that I remember Sabina said to me as a woman from a Pakistani background and work. I can't remember what you said, but I have to work 3 times harder than the person next to me because of my heritage, right? So I agree with that. Like the blind reference just related to that racial reference. Sabina, I just want to go back to you on that. I remember having this chat with you, which I loved. Can you unpack it a bit more in the context of personal boundaries and more?
I think I'd had a gin and tonic.
You're always drinking. You've always got something in your hand, Sabina.
Yeah, that's really important for my performance. It's all about balance, babe. It's all about balance. So what was the question, Edward?
Yeah, so I remember Amanda was talking about, because Amanda's blind, she has to work harder. And I remember we had the identical conversation, Sabina, in that. Love you just to explore it more with a personal boundary context.
Well, I mean, I think in an ideal world, we'd all like to say that we are all equal, right? And we're all, but we're not. Everybody sees us all differently. It doesn't matter if we are a different color, my hair's different color, I'm shorter or taller than somebody else. So I think, but using that fuel to actually, as women, we have to work harder. As a woman who is, half fish and chips and half curry and rice, I definitely have to work harder.
That would work, actually. That would actually be a really
It would.
I would actually like that.
It does work. does work sometimes, but you know, anyway, fish and chips and curry and rice, but it would be good curry.
That
Really
would
good.
work.
Yes.
Like a
I'll be
buffet,
over
like
for
an
that curry,
expensive hotel
Sabina.
buffet.
I'll be over for the curry, thanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going off now. So yeah, I did have to work harder, and I think women generally have to work harder, but that's also what's probably making us do the massive changes that we're doing. And so yeah, we do have to work a little bit harder, but it's a good push in one sense. If it's healthy and we're not pushing ourselves too much. And I hear Amanda as well. It's because I push myself a little bit too much, and when I've done that, I notice that that's when I crash and burnout. But you know, so I think yes, having healthy. Pushing yourself up to compete with other people that maybe have a little bit more privilege than you, or you know, then is definitely good, but it can also be bad. You just got to make sure it's a healthy drive. I don't know if I've answered Ed.
Yeah.
It's a good work ethic.
It's a good
Sorry.
work ethic.
It is a good
work ethic.
Yeah.
It is.
And
it is.
And I'd like to add to Sabina and Amanda what you're sharing there, and also Ed, Mary, you've got this. When we talk about these things that we've had to work harder for, these reasons, or you know, these background experiences that have shaped us and that drive us, that push us forward. It's also those differences that when we can embrace them, you know, that really gets to highlight our uniqueness. And this is one of the things that I love to look for, to help people see within themselves as well, right? As executives and business owners, entrepreneurs, is to see that difference, that point of difference, that uniqueness is you. That's what makes you be set apart from everybody else. Like, you are your own legend. You are your own champion. No one can compete with you. You know, when we can embrace our uniqueness, like, we can set the world on fire. It's amazing what we can do. And yeah, I just love that, you know, that there's these things that have shaped us over time, that have ignited us. But, you know, like, without that ignition, without those seeds, what could they grow into? Like I think it's part of the journey, part of the plan, as to what makes us who we are. And I love that about, you know, our self-identity, and coming to terms with acknowledging, accepting, and then embracing that and going, oh, thank you. You know, like I got from my dad, right? He's an engineer, and he taught me a job worth doing is worth doing well. And I think it's because of that, similar to Amanda, where I have that as a boundary. I push for a little bit more. Like, I say to people, if they're going to enter business awards competitions, yes, you can be a nominee. But if you do it really well, you can get into the finalist category and the winners. And I'm like, so let's do it really well.
It'll be number one. Winner. Yeah, I get it. There you go.
And it's funny, but you know, I love our racial differences, and it seems to me, what I've noticed is that the Americans, they've got a great handle on that. They're really good at pushing themselves forward, right? And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's tall poppy, it could be, but you know, here in Australia, New Zealand, and other cultures similar to to us in the Commonwealth, we have this, and I call it dumb. We have this dumb put down thing. Oh no, not me. You know, like, I've got to shrink myself. You know, I can't be a tall poppy. And I'm like, excuse my French, but BS. You know, we need to conspire to that. Really, you are great.
I heard something. It was my crush. You know, Matthew McConaughey, and he said something that
I love Matthew McConaughey. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? And it was basically, someone said, you know, you're so full of yourself. And his response was, well, who are you meant to be full of? And who are you meant to be full of? You're meant to be full of your next door neighbour? No, I think that shit. It's you.
Yeah.
Love it.
And not just be.
Yeah. And I'm a guy, so I can say this, right? I'm a dude, so I can say this.
Yeah.
It's worse on women. So I see this horrible sexism play out all the time, whereas because I'm a dude, people expect me to perform. But if someone's female, you shouldn't perform. So I think it's very sexist as well. So women are put down way more than men. And I'm a right-wing guy saying that. I'm not some kind of weird-ass lefty, right? So I think women get it way worse than men. Way worse than that crap. Couldn't agree with you
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, and historically, we've got a lot of work to do in changing the balance of that. But I think it's happening. You know, we're starting to see those changes come through, and it helps when we can have things like this. You know, like the Boss Lady Summit, where we've got dudes like you that are, you know, helping our visions and our thoughts, be heard and seen. Thank you, thank you, Ed.
Now, just jumping in, we have come towards the end of Boss Ladies, but don't you go yet, because we're going to have the closing thoughts from our panelists. And just so if you join us for Boss Ladies, a big thank you. Smash that like, share, and comment. Make sure you connect with Lara Arden, Amanda Hill, Sabina Savosky, Mary Scott, and Christina Davey, who was with us earlier, but she had to run because, she was signing in from mobile. She didn't originally want to come, but the topic was so appealing to her. She was just like... She was just like a binge eating addict outside of a buffet. She just couldn't help herself and charged on. I had a binge eating. I'm allowed to make binge eating jokes because I actually had that disorder, so I can make binge eating jokes. What we're going to do now, before this live stream gets cut off by LinkedIn, we're going to go into closing thoughts. And to start with closing thoughts, we're going to start with the amazing Amanda Hill, who has been the absorber of information this time. Amanda, give us like 30 seconds. Give us a good 30 seconds. Amanda, give us your closing thoughts on setting personal boundaries and standards. Over to you, Amanda Hill.
You know, the best way that you can set personal boundaries and standards is to know what you have been put on this earth to do, which is your life's purpose. We all have one. They're usually quite broad, but if you know what your life's purpose is and you know how to live it out, that's kind of your guiding star, your compass. And that does help you know what to say yes to and what to say no to, because if it doesn't align with your purpose, you say no. If it does, you say yes.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Here. Round of applause, Amanda Hill. That's why you're here. And Amanda Hill, I'll say it again, you sound like a journalist.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I can't wait till Amanda Hill's got election coverage afterwards. There we go. I can imagine you doing election coverage, Amanda Hill. You'd be really good at it.
It's all the mixer and the microphone.
There we go. Great. And of course, we're going to, a big thank you to Amanda Hill. Connect with Amanda Hill. Let's hear from Mary Scott. Mary Scott, you're such a lady of power. A quick honourable mention of Mary Scott. Mary Scott the other day shared photos of her when she was a nurse, when she was younger. And I got to say, you've always had your swag and riz, Mary. I loved your nursing photo. That was pretty cool.
Gosh, that was a while ago. But yes, stories are good, aren't they? Stories make a difference. And that's how you touch people. You know, I think if you're listening to this today, this is an invitation to you to sit still, be silent for a little bit and decide how you want to be treated and what your rules of engagement are going to be, because it always requires you to know and deepen your awareness about your personal boundaries. So this is an invitation from all the boss ladies, and that dude that likes to sniff candles, he's in it too. And
bit of Charlie Sheening over here.
and I'm grateful for the lovely energy today, and also just the messages. I learn so much when I'm a guest on here. Thanks for having me, and thank you, ladies, and that other fella that's going to go and conquer the world after this. Thanks, Ed, very much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And just a quick reaction there. I just want to react to earlier. It's our friend Stanley. Stanley and I go back, I think, over a decade. Stanley's a really good friend of mine from Melbourne. He's a dude, but women's empowerment is middle name. So I just want to honour you, Stanley. And my invitation is to any men out there, any handsome guys like me or Stanley, probably better looking than me. Just because you're a dude doesn't mean you can't get into women's empowerment. So I just want to put it out there for fellow gents out there. Sabina, let's hear your closing thoughts. Sabina, my powerful friend. What are you thinking, Sabina Savosky?
Yeah, I think success starts with setting intentional boundaries. And sustaining that success is about sustaining those boundaries. from a physiological point of view, psychological point of view, but just, if you're wanting to, whatever you want to achieve in your life, is making sure you've got clear boundaries. And boundaries are just a framework. We have a framework for everything in our business. Having a framework for how you actually lead your day in terms of performance will actually get you to where you want to be quicker. So setting boundaries will help you achieve your success faster in whatever it is that you want to do. That's my closing thought.
Oh my God, it's been a brilliant. And to finish off, Lara Arden, love to hear your closing thoughts on setting personal boundaries and standards.
Oh, thank you. I would also like to include, with reference to the beautiful Christina Davey, who was driving in on her drive-by special in a Lamborghini to join us today. And
She's like a petrol head outside of a petrol station. She can't help herself.
She is, yeah. And she gave us those wonderful distinctions of what is a boundary and what is a standard. And so, Ed, thank you for opening up this conversation for us today. And something that I learned that really helps me is that a boundary is something that we can say no to, and gently. And then Sabina was able to give us those lovely ways of doing the 3 levels of doing, boundary clearing, so that we can let people know, hey, this is my boundary, please help respect that. And then, of course, that the other thing is that standards are things that we like and that we love, and that, I think as we can help others learn about what are the things that we like and we love, that they're starting to see what are our standards that we hold true to, and that grows into our purpose, right? That goes into what we're here for, what we're meant to do. And as we can be mindful of those things, the standards, the things that we love, but also the boundaries, that will help us to be more effective in the things that we want to be here for. So yeah, Edward, thank you for this opportunity. It's been amazing. Thank you, ladies. Great to be here with you.
Thank you, Christina, and thank you, Ed. You always go above and beyond and giving this space for conversation. So it's really applaudable. Thank you.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you to our viewers who've been commenting as well.
Yeah,
I've been able to see them, but I believe there's been lots of comments.
Cool.
Oh, dude, this has been a very hot live stream. And I also want to give an honourable mention to Lassie as well. Lassie Zia, who's the creator of Boss Ladies and the admin that sort of created this content. So connect with Lassie too. And I want to say 2 things as well. I want to say to all the ladies across the world winning, and I say this as a dude talking to ladies, is never let anyone push your boundaries. Just go for it. And I would say opposite. If someone pushes your boundaries, it's time to push their boundaries back. That's what I'd say. So give back what you're given. And there you go. So, Mary liked that comment. I could see Mary going, yeah. Mary's like, yeah. Mary's going to stop.
And the Boss Ladies event next month, if anybody is in Sydney, next month for the Boss Ladies event, it starts at 11 a.m. Then please come along. It's going to be it'll be fantastic, but also it's a great opportunity to meet some amazing people. And Lassie, who she puts it all together. She works tirelessly, and she takes care of Edward, which I don't know how she does that. But yeah, what date is it, Edward? Is it the 6th?
Great. I think it's So the next, thank you. That next Sydney Boss Ladies lunch run by Lassie starts at 11 a.m. Friday, the 6th of June at Novotel Sydney on Darling Harbour. For any questions, please message any of us or just message Lassie to get those details.
And we'll put the link. Can we put the link down below?
Officer Thinking. I'll chuck it in after the stream, which is good. Chuck it in. And what I say to men as well, to all men watching, including my friend Stanley, just because you're a dude doesn't mean you can't get into women's empowerment. It's pretty cool. So there you go. I was in women's empowerment before it was popular, so I like to claim as an OG guy in this department. Not very good at it, but at least I try.
You also have an amazing little girl. I mean, your Madison is just like, she is women's empowerment.
Oh, totally. Oh, she's dangerous. She's our daughter doesn't carry the weapon; she is the weapon. So she's Madison. She's already talked about. We're already saying she already wants to run for office. We can already see her on a big Liberal Party sign in the future. There we go. So she'll definitely own a big mansion and hopefully give us lots of money as a successful A-list.
She'll put you in the bottom of the garage.
There we go. I'll be a manager. But anyway, friends, Thank you so much. What a great boss, ladies. And for those watching, thank you so much for tuning in. It just means how awesome you are. From all these great boss ladies and myself, stay awesome, everyone. Have a terrific weekend, and thank you all.